Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read-through for Omniscient Reader or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, chapters 165, 166, 167, and 168. At least, I'm planning to do all four. If the first three take me like over an hour, I might change my mind partially through the video. But, you know, I want to do all four. One of you said that 67 or 68 either would be a good place to end, but then somebody else said that 160, they hoped I got to 168. So, you know, again, anytime you have somewhere you want me to end, let me know and I'll try my best. So yeah, I'm going to try to go through 168 here. I'm so excited after last time. I think last time are some of my favorite chapters that I've read. Yeah, I really, it's hard to argue that they aren't possibly my favorite chapters I've ever read in Omniscient Reader, like the best read through so far. I think they were so good. And moving on from there, I did want to say, in addition to the people who told me, you know, where would be a good place to stop and everything, I just want to say a big thank you. A lot of the times I read all of your comments and, you know, they're pretty comprehensive. I don't have anything more to say other than to drop a like, leave you a heart. But I did want to just say that I really appreciate them. I really appreciate everything that everybody writes. Even again, if I don't answer each comment individually because I can't think of anything good to say, I just wanted to thank you for everything that you do. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. I think there was maybe something else that I wanted to say before I started reading this week, but I don't remember. I mean, last week I was like, hey, you know, we're getting into fighting. I don't know if it'll be that long to read, and I ended up reading like over an hour, but I was certainly not disappointed by that. I think it was incredible, because not only we did get into the fighting, we did get into some action, and the action was very good. Some of the best, once again, in Omniscient Reader so far. But we just got so much on top of that, too. We just got so much more than just that. But either way, I can't think of anything else, and I don't want to leave you with a super long Haku intro here, so let's just start reading. We have chapter 165, and we're starting off with the funeral of Kim Nokja. He was the strongest in Seoul Dome. They're crying. A new main scenario will begin shortly. Not sure how he's going to come back to life or whatever yet. I haven't really thought that one through too well. I think between last week and this week, maybe I was thinking about Omniscient Reader and I thought of something at one point, but now that I'm here in front of you all, I'm forgetting it. So I'm not sure how, but he's fine. He'll shake it off. It's death. I'll get over it. Then, they now had to continue living in this world without Kim Dokja. If this was TWSA, something like this would be on the pages. And we have his soul just watching on. Mr. Dokja, and of course we see that Jishae is truly a bit of a tsundere. Look how sad they are to see me go. I'm a little touched. I'm just glad that I'm able to watch them from the third-person observer's viewpoint. It would have been better if I could use the first-person perspective, but it won't work because I was too immersed in Junkyuk. It would be quite a sight if I broke out of my coffin about now. Too bad this attribute has too long of a cooldown. The effect of the attribute 8 lives is currently activated. You need to wait 72 hours until you can be resurrected. So he comes back to life after 3 days. So 8 lives though. When did he get 8 lives? Is that from taking out Yamato no Orochi? This attribute okay, well, you know, this attribute I earn in return for giving up the King of No Killing in Peaceland. I did the reactor thing. 8 lives. This attribute which can only be obtained by drinking the liquor brewed from Yamato no Orochi's flesh and blood. Okay, that makes sense. We did need to still... So many things are going on that I forget. It's like we set up this thing and then we set up this thing, and there's so many things that get set up that we're waiting for the resolution for that I'm just forgetting them, honestly. There's so many. So yeah, I totally forgot we still had that. Literally gives the user 8 lives. Each of Yamato no Orochi's heads has a special ability, and I can earn one of the 8 abilities when I'm resurrected. So not only does he get to come back alive a bunch, but he gets a new ability each time he does, which is crazy. So this is a massive boost to Dokja. But in addition to all of... Rising after 3 days is going to be wild. Also, I would hate this. I would hate this. I think he really should have told them ahead of time, hey, if I ever die, don't bury me. Because it would be horrifying to be like, oh yeah, I get to come back alive after 3 days, 8 times, but I'm going to be buried alive? That sounds horrible. So, first head of the serpent has been put to sacrifice. The head special ability's popularity. So this is massive, and it makes you think, in the future, are there going to be times where a situation arises where Dokkaebi's like, shit, I've got to die and wait 3 days. He's like, I need to die and wait because I need this next ability for this next situation we're going to be in. The skill doesn't seem all that bad if you look at it like this, but the problem is that it has a cooldown unlike the King of No Killing. So that means each time... Okay, so it's already been 2 days. So each time that it happens, his companions are going to have to survive without him. There's still a whole day to go, and the next scenario is about to begin. They're burying him. At least it's shallow. At least they're not putting this man too deep. And now, this is going... All of them, I would be so pissed if I was some of them. Like, so happy that he's alive, but so pissed that it's like, you couldn't have said something. You made me waste all this emotional trauma just for you to come back anyway. Oh, ugly king. And then, damn it, is that what the dokkaebis are calling me now? Be Young must be behind this. And we have crying Hyunsung. Then... Pildu as well. I should change my perspective. If I keep watching any longer, I'll feel too sorry to come back to life. Right? It's like I feel kind of awkward now coming back to life after they've cried for me like this. Switching characters for a third-person observer's viewpoint. And we don't know where Jungkook wandered off to. I wonder if that's who he's going to switch to. Mr. Yu? Oh, and he's with Sang-ah. Where's Dokkaebi? He sheathes a sword. Dokkaebi is dead. But he'll come back to life. And then immediately... Gosh, I feel bad for leaving Sang-ah with him. He will, but how? I don't know how. But there's no way he'd die like that. No, he has to. No matter what. If it wasn't for those veins on his fist, it would have been a touching moment. Also, though, of course, he's pissed. He's regular Jungkook, but I think a part of it too is that Dokkaebi gave Jungkook this reason to keep living, so now he's like, you can't just give me a reason to keep living and then go off and die. Where's Dokkaebi's family? Oh, Dokkaebi's mother. That punk, he's doing more than I asked him to. All I asked him to do was save Sang-ah. Your mental energy is depleted completely. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint level 3 is ending. Oh, so I guess he's just going to fall unconscious until he gets revived. Damn it, not now. This is what's bad about being in soul form. My mental energy is slow to recover. It may be natural, but the longer you're away from your body, the more your mind starts wearing out. This is the same logic behind why ghosts end up going mad. Would Nirvana have killed my mother? I need to keep asking questions like this to stop myself from going mad. Probably not. She's mother after all. And Nirvana isn't so quick to torture or kill people off. Come to think of it, what they said to me in their last moments. A secret my mother's been keeping from me. I have no idea what he could have been trying to tell me. I really can't tell. Maybe I don't want to know. Then Constellation, Master of... something with an A? Armor? Master of Abydos. Okay, he's calling for your soul. If I remember correctly, Abydos should be the capital city of ancient Egypt. Nebula Papyrus wants to grant you the story of resurrection. So, Nebula are like Olympus, and then Papyrus is the Egyptian pantheon then. So I wonder then, does Rome get their own separate pantheon, or does Rome just count with the Greek pantheon? And then that brings up the question, because there are a lot of cultures that kind of picked and chose and borrowed from each other's gods. Like, I'm pretty sure there are old, like, Mesopotamian statues that they have some of the Mesopotamian gods, but then they also throw, like, Zeus and Hercules in there, because they're like, we like those guys, they're pretty cool. Or like the like some of the Germanic tribes worship their own like Germanic, like Norse gods, or the old Anglo-Saxon gods and stuff. But then they would also like throw Saturn in there, like, hey, you know, we've had a lot of interactions with the Romans, and Saturn's pretty cool. So it's like, you know, where does the overlap begin and end? What is this? Constellation Scribe of Heavens calling for your soul. Huh? Even Metatron? Are all the different mythological groups, the nebulae, are fighting over him. The story of resurrection, the Messiah, Nebula Eden, which I'm assuming is going to be the Judeo-Christian sort of mythos, wants to lead you to the path of the Messiah. Constellation, god of alcohol and ecstasy, wants to have you as his lesser constellation. Nebula Olympus wants to meet with you. Constellation, master of December 25th, is calling for you. So, master of December 25th, is that just, was this released maybe towards Christmas or something, and it was a joke for that? At first I was going to say, is that supposed to be Jesus? But I don't think so. I think it's like actually literally supposed to be Santa. What do you know? Honestly, belief in Santa still exists within children to this day, so when it comes to the power of constellations, Santa Claus might be the like most OP constellation ever. I know in his streams, he's probably already said it to you, Pyro Prima said that he wanted to do a like a tabletop RPG based on ORV, and he asked me about being a player, and if so, it's like, can I have the Santa Claus supporting Constellation? I feel like Santa Claus would go wild. What do you know? Nebula Vedas wants to give you the blessing of resurrection. Vedas, I'm not familiar. And then Constellation, Flower of Sochon Flower Fields is calling for your soul. Nebula Tamna wants you. So the nebulas have been kind of named after the constellations within the nebulas have been named. Like Scribe of Heaven, Metatron is part of Eden. And then up here, what was he called? The Master of Abydos is part of Papyrus. So then Master of December 25th would be part of Vedas. I'm not sure what that means. And Flower Blossom of Sochon Flower Field. Sochon is a Korean word. So is Tamna like some sort of Korean, I'm not really familiar with any Korean gods, if there are any, as that's some sort of Korean nebula. All the constellations who asked me over just now have something to do with the act of resurrection. Interesting. So, something to do with resurrection. God of Alcohol and Ecstasy was Bacchus. And then Metatron, I don't know what Metatron has to do with resurrection, but Master of December, you think resurrection, you think Jesus. Is it actually Jesus? I mean, I guess Jesus would also go pretty wild as a constellation. So that means a few constellations begin arguing and pointing fingers at each other. Some constellations are telling others not to steal their mythos. Hold on, I want to go look up what Tamna and Vedas mean, if they mean anything. So Vedas has to do with Hindu mythology, so I don't know if they are connected or not, but I guess they are. I guess Master of December 25th, I guess the date also has something to do with, I don't want to look up too much and like spoil myself on potential reveals. I guess maybe that is something related to a character from Hindu mythology. And Tamna is a kingdom that was absorbed into Korea. So it's not like a mythological thing, I guess, but it maybe, I don't know. All I could find was talking about like the kingdom that was absorbed into Korea, but maybe it also has something to do with mythology, because why else would it be like a nebula, you know? Okay, so going past what I read, they want to reenact their myths through me. Constellations are in a tense argument about your resurrection. All stories are reinforced by word of mouth. What if someone named Kim Dokcha were to resurrect from his grave after 3 days and shout, "I am Kim Dokcha, blessings of grace upon you," and we have this cartoonish scene. people will be taken aback, and that constellation's mythos would be reenacted on the spot. As a result, the constellation who the myth belongs to will acquire a large amount of probability, enough to let them interfere in the scenario. True, we've seen things similar to that before. I can't believe they're thinking to get the power to change the scenario with something as simple as resurrection, and something that he's done before and will continue to do a couple more times. The constellations of Korea are looking forward to your decision. Constellations are fighting over the legitimacy of their myths. It may seem like I have the upper hand right now, but that really isn't the case. The story of resurrection is a sensitive topic between constellations due to plagiarism accusations. Tensions between Eden and Vedas would be especially high. And we see... I'm not going to try to guess who the one on the left is. There's the lotus flower, and then this multi-headed snake. A part of me wants to say Sarasvati, a part of me wants to say Shiva, but there's a very good chance that neither of those is correct. And then Adam and Eve on the left. If I choose one, I might end up making enemies of the other. But if I refuse all of them, everyone will start hating me. I have enough on my hands as is, having to explain my resurrection to my friends. But if I become a public enemy of the constellations, many constellations want you to decide as soon as possible. Constellation Queen of the Darkest Spring mediates the argument. Huh? Constellation Queen of the Darkest Spring insists that it's the Incarnation's decision that matters the most. Why is Persephone taking my side all of a sudden? What's gotten into this old lady? Then we're seeing more of this. Yeah, you know, the constellations I feel like would complain because she is a part of the Olympus Nebula, right? Queen of the Darkest Spring offers to invite Incarnation Kim Dokja to a banquet. A banquet? Is he going to meet a bunch of the constellations? Or maybe just, you know, her again, but... It'd be neat if we got to see more constellations. It's called Constellation Banquet Part 1. If so, this is extremely hype. Mr. Dokja, sir? I recommend that you go to that banquet. Okay, so now this one's text is orange instead of yellow. I'll get you ready right away. Well, since it's an important occasion. So, was I right about in the past dokkaebi having different colors when they spoke? This one's is orange. And this one looks kind of like that one that replaced Be Young for a little while, whose name I remembered for a long time and then forgot last week. He's changing clothes into a fancy suit. Again, would fancy suits really match what a lot of, you imagine the constellations would be wearing, though? Remaining cooldown, and we have a little less than 24 hours. 23 hours. Provided that I don't stay here, or stay there too long. There's more than enough time. It's a bit earlier than I expected, but I'd have to go there at least once. The old stories are sparkling in the distant night sky. The Constellation Banquet is currently underway. Constellation Queen of the Darkest Spring has invited you to the Constellation Banquet as her partner. A delegate of the constellation who invited you will be here soon to pick you up. Okay? You have temporarily left the main scenario area. I wish you a success on your debut. And then they leave. You must return to the scenario within 24 hours Earth time. You'll be disposed of accordingly with the scenario's rules if you do not return in time. Disposed of? The system messages sometimes send chills down my spine. Hidden scenario Constellation Banquet has begun. Then, category hidden, difficulty question mark, clear condition, participate in the banquet and make a successful debut. Time limit 24 hours. You're getting a reward for this? 100,000 coins or the ire or affection of certain constellations. No penalty for failure. Okay, and we see these Pegasi approaching. Pulling a chariot. A golden carriage. Wow. Wait, is this the carriage of the sun? Then the one who's inside should be... Hey, hop in. Is he just going to use his true voice? Hey, it's fine. We're in the symbolic realm now, so true voices aren't as powerful as they are. Come on, don't be scared, I won't bite. If this carriage, or if this really is the carriage of the sun, the owner of this carriage should be Helios, the sun god. Wait, so not Apollo? Or is Helios just the Roman Apollo and they're using the Roman name here for some reason? Huh? It was just a floating glass of wine. You are... And then, we could see a bunch of constellations. I'm super, super excited to see some constellations. It'd be so sick to see some more of them. That was an incredibly good chapter. A long read. So it's already after 11 p.m. at night. I'm already reading this late. So we're going to be up late tonight getting this video done. Let's go read episode 166. On to 166, we're starting with a recap of this scene. Then what? You don't recognize me? Constellation, god of alcohol and ecstasy, is disappointed in you. Okay, so it's Bacchus or Dionysus. What's the other name? Dionysus. And I did the reactor thing, you just said it. Hey, you can't call us by our true names like that. I kind of like that little zap, though. Why do you look like that? Because of probability. Taking a symbolic form is a good way to save costs. Okay, so his symbolic form, because he's trying not to use up too much probability, is just a floating wine glass. So we might not actually see some of the constellations, we might just see symbolic forms of them, like this. And it might be better for me that he's not in his true form. Even with the fourth wall, I can't be sure that I won't faint at the sight of a constellation's true form. This is our first time meeting in person, right? Nice to meet you. I'm the god of alcohol and ecstasy. If you have an energy drink, named after me in your country, it's blurred out. Nice to meet you too. Bacchus, Dionysus' Roman name. Okay, so we are counting the Roman and Greek as Olympus is just one thing then. Now, Constellation Banquet Part 2. You don't seem all that phased, though. I'm still a constellation, no less. This isn't my first time meeting one. Oh, I remember. I sent you to the underworld that other time. Thank you for your help back then. But what did you do while you were there? What? I've never seen the Queen be that nice to anyone. She tried to protect the mere incarnation against powerful nebulae. Did you perhaps, have a thing with her? You're wrong. Come on, don't play coy with me. She may be old, but she's still pretty sexy. If she were single, I would try and... Should you be saying things like that? Isn't the Queen of the Underworld your mother? What? I guess there's a story like that out there. Then, are you saying the story's a lie? I never said that. I think it's like... If you are whatever your story is, then... Is it just kind of... all the stories are true, but also not true at the same time? I feel like ORV kind of exists in that... things are fiction, but they're real at the same time kind of place, Hey, don't give me that look. Stuff like that doesn't really count as taboo in Olympus. Right, well, while we're on the topic, you got my message earlier, right? And then, join me. I'll bestow you with the story of Bacchus. You don't seem all that happy. No, I am. The story of Bacchus? What's with that attitude? You've just compared me to the stories that Eden and Veda have, didn't you? That's because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Do you know what happens when you get a story like the resurrected Messiah? You have to live your entire life as a virgin. On the contrary, the story of Bacchus is incomparably awesome. You know that I have priestesses, right? You can party every night with them, and I can supply you with an infinite amount of wine, too. It doesn't sound all that enticing. Now that I think about it, I think I overheard some angel of Eden say you might be into men. And then the second... I love all of this. All of the demonic Shasha fire things popping up in the background. I freaking love Uriel so much. I think I may know who spread that rumor, but it's not true. I like women. Again, this is the second, dagger to the hearts of so many readers. Probably the first dagger thrown by Jungkook with his "I don't like men" moment, and now the Dokja "I like women" moment. But most of all, I'd like to know why it is that you really came to see me. What do you mean? I came to convince you to join our... Is that really all? You're quite quick-witted. You're right. I'm not here to ask you to join Olympus. Just as I thought. There's no way that all 12 Olympian gods showed up just to get a single incarnation to join them. Let me get right to the point. I don't want you to join Olympus. And he's surprised at this. What? And we have an eruption behind them? Eek! I wet myself because I was startled. Damn it. I borrowed this from Helios, so I need to return it in one piece. Seems the other nebulae are out to get you. And we have this crackling. Hey, this won't do. I'll let you off here, so you can run the rest of the way. You'll get there in no time if you just follow the cloud path. Here, but we're in midair. I'll try to stop them, so just go. Once you arrive at the banquet, no nebula will be able to mess with you. Just remember this one thing. I think Dionysus was really, really, really cool in this scene. Don't trust anyone. Anyone? Does that include himself? And Dokja runs off. And it looks like Helios isn't getting his chariot back in one piece. We see the place where they're holding the banquet. Looks very cool. And I love this dokkaebi. I love all the dokkaebi designs, but this is one of my favorites so far. I love them so much. I freaking love the dokkaebi so much. I came to join the banquet. What? I wasn't told of an incarnation coming to the banquet alone. Damn it, I guess that carriage of the sun was my pass into the banquet. Let him in. He's with me. The gates creak open. He's surprised. Is it still going to be Sangha form? Or no? A mischievous face, covered in white hair with golden glitter. The prisoner of the smallest prison who's been put there for playing a trick on the Most High. We're finally seeing Sun Wukong. All those who dared to gaze into his all-seeing eyes would come to a gasp. So cool! I love this design too. The great sage, heaven's equal. He smiles. And vanishes. We see these peacock feathers left behind? Or eyes? Yeah, they're just eyes. Never mind. Who the hell is that? I think it's an incarnation. Is it just that Dokja is still at a point where he can't really fully comprehend what he's seeing? Whose incarnation is it? These are the constellations who are in attendance at the banquet? I thought I could finally manage hearing their true voices, but without the fourth wall I can't even move just because they're looking at me. It finally hit me. In this banquet hall, I'm the only person who is not a constellation. And I mean, he kind of is, right? Because he's a supporting constellation for... Well, I guess he still has to do some more things. But he's on his way. He's already got one incarnation. Now, please calm yourselves. It looks like there's been a mistake. Let me take him off your hands for a moment. And he's picked up by these tiny little hands. And carried away. Okay. Whew, I can finally breathe. Why'd you come on your own? Looks over. Be young. And Be Young has gotten taller. So cute. Yes, it's me. The queen said she'd sent her envoy out to pick you up. Weren't you coming here with him? Honestly, I was thinking earlier, I don't think I said it out loud, but when we were having that Jungkook Sangha scene, well, I guess Jungkook's gonna end up with Seohwa, isn't he? But Seohwa basically doesn't exist. She's basically like fictional within the fictional world. So if we can ignore her existing, I was like, Jungkook and Sangha would actually be kind of cute. But that would be really messy with Dokja's head and all. And, Dokja said he doesn't like guys, so we can't end up with Jungkook. But Be Young, the dokkaebi, I don't really know if they have gender or not so far. And Dokja is kind of already somewhat with Be Young. I mean, we have Mama Be Young, right? And then that would make Dokja the dad. Huh? And then we end there. Okay, that was the end of the chapter. So honestly, the true pairing might be Dokja Be Young. And now, you know, he's getting chewed out by his wife, the mother of his egg. So, yeah. Either way, let's go and move on to the next one. I will say, though, that was another good chapter. I think the best things that I took out of it, first, were Dokja going in. How is Dokja going to do this at this point? Because he had to literally be escorted out by Be Young. So it's like, how does he withstand the other, or the constellations? I think it was really, really cool, though, that we're seeing that now he's at a level where he's going into this banquet, he's seeing them, he's hearing them, but they're still so far above him in stories and probability in existence that he is just overwhelmed by their very present. And I think the only thing that was even cooler than that, I think the conversation with Dionysus was really, really, really good. I really liked Dionysus there. It was funny that Dionysus was just the floating wine glass the whole time. But that was a really good scene, and then leaving off with not to trust anybody. So, very, very good. Let's read 167. And then we get kind of a recap here with Mama Be Young. And then our title splash, Constellation Banquet Part 3. What are you doing out here all alone? Are you looking to get yourself killed? Well, things happened. This is more serious than you think. This isn't a scenario area. One wrong move and that'll be the end of you. Here, I know that. This place is full of beings who can kill humans with just their gaze. Then, I'll take you to the waiting room, so why don't you rest there? There's a video feed in the waiting room, so keep your eyes glued to it. The waiting room? Don't take your eyes off it, okay? I freaking love Be Young. I love Be Young even more now. It might be because Be Young kind of here with like the eyes and the little like hair thingies coming off the side looks like Kyubey, and like Kyubey's one of my favorite anime characters ever. Incarnation waiting room. I didn't know there was a room like this here. Did you think you were the only incarnation here? Although you're the only one who came alone. There's more? How'd they get here? Did they die too? Dokja. Jungkook is here. I love Jungkook. One of you said in my comments, I think the week before last, that you were really glad that I like Jungkook because he gets a lot of hate. And I don't get it. I don't really get it. I freaking love Jungkook. I'm like tearing up. I didn't expect him. Oh man. And then Jungkook. Constellation Banquet is mentioned quite a lot in TWSA. This is where Jungkook comes to cheat the constellations by using regression. Of course it was natural that he was on the guest list. I don't know who it is that invited him here, but the constellations would line up to be able to associate themselves with him. This is being run together by several countries. The Seoul Dome, the Washington Dome, and are these the Americans? There's a lot of them there. The Moscow Dome, quite a few, and the New Delhi Dome. Okay, so if it's only those four... Interesting. You would assume that there's way more than just those four domes, so it's interesting that we're only having those four. I guess a presentation's being given by all the domes who made a lot of progress as of late. Feels like Jungkook is in his 24th regression. What are you doing here? Same reason as you, probably. And it's like, how strong are all those others if all those others, or how, not just strong, but important are all those others, that they all get invited here? But then in Korea, like, all of Dokja's allies don't, it's just Dokja and Jungkook. And not even Soo-young ends up here. When are you coming back to life? Probably tomorrow. The others are worried about you. Relax, Jungkook. I'm really sorry about that. He's sweating. The promotion of the mid-level dokkaebi as the representative of the low-level dokkaebi. Okay. Once again, I would like to honor the constellations who have listened to my story. Then, It's that punk. So this is why he asked me to watch the feed. Half of my achievements were possible thanks to an incarnation who has been rather active in my channel. I'm sure most of you already know him. I would like to dedicate half of the honor to that incarnation. And I love the dokkaebi so much. Look at this cute little one in the... Hold on, can you see it? Let me make sure you can see it on screen. You can't see it that well. Let me remove this for a second. The cute little tiny one back in the background behind Byung. It's so cute. Oh my god, I love the dokkaebi so much. There has to be. This is a popular story. There has to be merch for the dokkaebi, right? I want some. And then in the other half, gosh, he's embarrassing me. Hold on, let me... Okay, just making sure I didn't forget to put the filter back up. Sorry, hold on. And the other half will be dedicated to this child who will be born soon, and we have Mama Dokkaebi's egg. Wait, did you get the dokkaebi pregnant? It was the only way. Do you even know what you've done? If you do that, Yusung will be... If she's reincarnated as a dokkaebi, at least she won't die a ridiculous death. The management center is the safest place until the star stream goes under. And Junghyuk's pissed. But I trust Dokja. He's making the plays. Wait, are you Kim Dokja? And is this going to be Anna Croft? She doesn't look like she did before if it is. Do you know me? Oh, only a little. I've heard about you. I didn't expect her to come talk to me first. It's nice to meet you. Is it supposed to be Selena Kim or Kim Selena? Is she Korean? Do you know me? Don't you represent America? I've also heard about you. Okay, so I guess... Well, I was going to say, I guess that explains it. So it should be Selena Kim. But then, are they accidentally putting the names backwards? And Kim is her first name, Selena's her last name. I do not know. Personal skill character profile activated. Only the pre-selected information will be displayed for user convenience. Character summary, Selena Kim, supporting Constellation, Ender of Wars. Personal attribute, Animal Lover Rare, and King's Guardian Heroic. Ender of Wars. No clue. The only thing that popped into my head is a little controversial, so I'm not going to say it. Selena Kim of the Washington Dome. She's a member of Anna Croft's and one of the 100 strongest people from TWSA. Okay, so was Anna Croft here, or no then? The King of No Killing attribute that I once had was supposed to be hers. I mean, I guess this thing isn't just for the strongest, or isn't just for the most important, but are ones that the Constellation specifically want here. So there could always be the chance that, like, yeah, Anna Croft's strong and important, but, like, the Constellation don't really have anything to try to win her over with here. Isn't Anna Croft here with you? You know Anna. I met her in a dream once. She wanted to come. If she had known you would be here, she definitely would have. No, I'm glad that she isn't here. If she were, things would have gotten more complicated. Because of her. Tell that woman to watch out for herself, says Junghyuk. I freaking love this edgelord. You're just as Anna said, Junghyuk. During the last round, Junghyuk was betrayed by Anna Croft, and Anna must have seen what she did to Junghyuk then through her past sight ability. Okay. And also, I just realized that they're all understanding what each other is saying. I guess, is this like with the Japanese incarnations where the star stream just automatically translates for them? That's probably why she didn't come. Or do they just all have translation skills? That might be it. Looks like there's a weird-looking one from the Korean Dome. Are you the representative of Korea? And then we have... Is this a waifu? I love the outfit. Oh my god, I love the outfit. The layers. I love the freaking sweater, the giant coat. I love the hat. The pants or leggings or whatever are super cool, like thick knit looking. And then the fuzzy boots or leg warmers. So good. Just winning the fashion souls right now. Iris, that's rude. You shouldn't judge someone by their looks alone. I was only stating the fact that he looked weird. Honesty's a virtue in Moscow. Who are you? His face! You don't know me. The representative of Russia. I have an idea who she is, but I don't want to let her on that I do. She was one of the characters that I despised in TWSA. You don't know me, Iris Vladimirovna Rebetsova or Rebezova or Rebezhova? Which one? Rebetsova? I feel like do Russians often replace the ts character with z's? I kind of feel like they do. I feel like the ch character is ch, the zh character, do they use zh a lot for that? But ts I think is usually replaced with a z, so Rebetsova probably? Should I know you? Unless it is just Rebezova. Let me introduce you, Dokja. This is Iris. She's Russia's representative. And I'm assuming that since she's Russian, it's probably Iris? I don't know, it's kind of a weird name for a Russian. She's known as the war god of the Red Square in Russia. Ahem, some people do call me that. I love her. Even her nickname sounds baloney. Iris, this is Kim Dokja. He's here representing Korea, and he goes by... I'm sorry, but what's your nickname? He goes by... I don't have one yet, and he cuts off Junghyuk. Junghyuk was going to say Ugly King, wasn't he? Oh, Ugly King. Oh, Ugly King. And he thinks, I actually do have one, but... Ha, you came all the way here without even a nickname? I love her. Cheeky brat. Damn it. I do have one. I just don't want to share it with everyone. I don't know who gave you the right to be here, but you better watch yourself. You must have come here to beg a story from a high constellation or something. And then we have this little dokkaebi peeking in. Look at the little, hair swoop. Incarnations. Story succession will soon take place, so please head to the banquet hall. Let's see how you do. Okay. This was such a good chapter. I freaking love Junghyuk. I love the dokkaebi. I freaking love Be Young. I love the new characters being introduced. This is one of my favorite chapters, maybe my favorite chapter, in terms of pure fun. The jokes with Dokja not liking Iris and then also wanting to hide his nickname are so good. The jokes earlier in the chapter were good. This is one of the funnest chapters in the series. That was so fun. I want to say it's one of the best or one of my favorites. It's not one of my favorites in the serious sense that some of them had such intricate character work, but it is one of my favorites in just being fun. And again, if any of you have watched me reacting to other things, not just Omniscient Reader, or have been around the channel for the years that I've been making things, you will know that I value fun, I value enjoyment in series really, 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 really highly. If a series is just dumb and mindless, but super, super fun, I tend to rate that way higher than something that takes itself way too serious and tries to be deeper than it actually is. So yeah, I value fun so much, and that was such a fun chapter. I love it. But either way, now that we're through that chapter, let's go read the last one for this time. Honestly, I'll be real with you. Going into 168, I am just, a little bit concerned, because that felt like a solid place to end off, but I've heard that this is another good place to end. It's just that we're now going into the banquet, and I can't imagine we're going to be doing a crazy amount in one chapter, unless we're going to get through the whole thing. Is this going to be another 20-minute read? Either way, let's see what we get. We have prepared you temporary seating in the banquet hall on the first floor. And then we're seeing all of them enter. Just remember that the first floor only hosts the historical constellations. Okay, so they're on the first floor with the historic constellations, okay. And they're all there as items. Got it. Neat. Is the reindeer Santa? We just have a bunch of items hanging around. This is so wild. I love it. I really would just love to see what the constellations actually look like, but I feel like doing it this way is almost more exciting, because really, if you just see a crowd of constellations, is just kind of gonna look like a crowd of people just wearing kind of fancy historical mythology kind of clothes. But just seeing a bunch of floating items and knowing that those are actually just historical figures that are super famous, and they're so like uncomprehendable by humans that they have to appear to you in the form of items, it kind of just adds to the weight and heaviness of who they are. Like, it adds to the fun because it's just a bunch of floating items, but it also adds to the weight and severity, being like, oh crap, they're so powerful that you can only see them as like items. Lots of spears in there. In fact, this one looks like it's just copy and pasted from this one. They got a little bit lazy there. Also, this is just a copy and paste of this over here. So, getting a little lazy at some points. But we've got this book here with the pentagram on it. I wonder if that is... And that looks pretty... occult as well. I wonder what historical figures those could be. Is that... I can't tell from the angle. It looks kind of like, one of those like old-time machine guns with the circular thingy on top, but I don't think that's what that is. Just looking at some of these. Of course, like harps, shields, statues, lots of things. There's like a bookshelf or a seat, maybe like a bench over here. Ooh, the skull looks neat. There's one that's just a wooden bucket. One's a diving helmet? Historical constellation, who's the diving helmet? Oh, who is the telescope? Would that be like Galileo or something? And then we've got like the solar system model. Is that related to whoever that anime is about? The anime that's currently ongoing? I think Lucky said they were watching it, so... is that related to that person? Selena Kim, the King's Guardian. I've been keeping my eye on you. I have high hopes for you. Edis, the little devil of the Red Square. Haha, she's adorable. She's just as I saw on the feed. They're going to say his nickname, aren't they? Did you see that? Is what she seems to be saying. Haha, everyone looks just how they looked on screen. Who's that? Who's that all the way in the... And then... Everyone gets quiet as we see all of these shots of the things that Dokkaebi's done. Hey, why is everyone so quiet? Am I that unpopular? It's Kim Dokkaebi from Korea. Are they in awe of him? Kim Dokkaebi! It's Kim Dokkaebi! Dokkaebi Kim! Dokkaebi Kim! There's the ones getting his name wrong too. The king of the world without kings. The man who does the unthinkable. Hey, do you remember me? I'm the bald army general, and we have a staff talking. Kim Dokkaebi, I'm the great King Hungmu, and we have his statue. I had a great time watching you in Peaceland. You really aren't that bad. Hey, wave at me. I spent 3,000 coins on you already. We have all the fans. Get over here, everyone. It's Kim Dokkaebi. Hey, he's not as ugly as I thought he'd be. I love this so much. You're quite the looker, Kim Dokkaebi. Now we have our title splash, Constellation Banquet, Part 4. Yu Jung-hyuk, and we have him on the screen as well. You're the best, Supreme King. Join our nebula. Supreme King. Woo, they're all cheering. Looking good. Just as expected. Jung-hyuk's quite popular too. Hey. Then. Cute. Then, don't act too rashly if you want to stay alive. She's known as the war god of the Red Square in Russia. Ahem, some people do call me that. What? A few constellations are amazed by your foresight. Many constellations have sponsored you 5,000 coins for having taught her a lesson. They're just super chatting while he's in here. They were streaming all of that, and now she's embarrassed because they caught all of it. You thought they'd stop their stream just because we were in the world of the constellations? How naive. This place is where all the tragedies of mankind become a feast. And they're all laughing. They may be cheering me on, but they're actually the ones I have to fight against in the end. The historical constellations are on the first floor, while the fabled constellations are on the second. I need to be careful here. And wasn't there a third level, or am I wrong? I thought there was historical, fabled, and then there was like another step above. Just remember this one thing. Don't trust anyone. There must be a good reason why Dionysus said something like that. Starting now, I must look for someone I can use, not someone I can trust. Over here, Kim Dokja. He looks over. Bald Army General, and you are Lady of the Sleeping Brocade? Yes, I see that you remember me. That's right, long time no see. I can't believe you're here. I really wanted to see you again. That eye patch, he must be the one-eyed Maitreya. And behind him must be the great King Hungmu. Kim Dokja. And we have a floating 100 Bank of Korea coin. Is that going to be Jonil-do's maybe? 101 coin? It's nice to see you. Why is there 101 coin? I'm sorry, but who are you? How disappointing. Don't you recognize me? Wait, the historical figure who appears on the 101 coin is... It seems that you've been putting that stigma I gave you to good use. Okay, never mind. He flips around, half the face. That's so funny. The Great Admiral Lee Sun-shin. Or Sun-shin? No matter how unpatriotic you may be, there isn't a single Korean whose heart wouldn't pound with excitement in his presence. Admiral! Thank you for your help back then, but why have you taken up such a form? It's not of my own will that I've manifested myself like this. Then he too? He's the creator of Hangul, and we have the actual, paper money. He also has a statue of himself in Gwanghwamun, like I do. Do you not know him? How could I not? Their symbolic forms usually take after the things they're most well known for, so now in the present time most people know him from, the person on the money. I guess he and I are in a similar situation. I can understand why King Sejong the Great is a bill, but shouldn't Admiral Sun-shin Lee be a turtle ship? And then we have the fabled constellations smirking. The fabled constellations of the second floor are all in human form. The constellations who have difficulty paying the probability costs must have taken on simplified representations. And we have somebody waiting in human form on the staircase. Who's that constellation? Who? Oh, you mean him. He doesn't seem like a fabled constellation, as he's in his humanoid form. There's no other constellation in Korea whose fame exceeds his. He's a historical constellation. You could say he's the most powerful historical constellation. He's achieved his status by his own feats, independent of the fame that history brings upon him. Have you heard of Goryo's top swordsman? I heard that stories about him have been rather popular these days. No way. Out of our way. And then we have the guards of the underworld again, the judges or whatever they called them. The queen wants an audience with you. You must really be popular. I didn't expect them to take you up to the second floor. And Jung-hyuk is also heading upstairs, just as I expected. Watch yourself up there. Again, we're just getting hints at so many things. And he walks past the swordsman. You're just as pathetic as the rest of them. To think you'd grovel at the feet of those bastards on the second floor. What do you mean by that, Goryo's top swordsman? Do you not wish to live? I'm ready to lay down my life whenever it be called for. Want to take me on? And he stances up to the judges, or I forget what they were actually called. He's huge. Don't get so cocky. Just because you're on the level of fabled constellations, you're just parasites living off their fame. So I guess these judges aren't just underworld things. I guess they're kind of like the fallen constellations who became like the dokkaebi in armor. They're constellations that aren't actually fables themselves. They're just kind of living off the power, living off the fame, the probability of the fabled constellations to serve them. The judges of the underworld may be on the same level as fabled constellations, but they maintain their status off the stories of Persephone, so he isn't wrong, but it's risky to say. I don't know what brings you all the way here. But you better not act out of line, because the creation gods of this area vacated the premises. Okay, is that the top level? Is creation gods? Like the very first primordial, like king of gods from each of the pantheons? Enough. Judges, do not cause any unnecessary conflict. And you too, Goryo's top swordsman, I suggest you learn to keep your manners. And we're seeing, okay. I can't tell. This doesn't really look like Sangha. I can't tell if she's still taking Sangha's form or if this is just the real her. It doesn't really look like Sangha to me. Long time no see, Kim Dokcha. And then we get Cliffhung there. Okay, that's a solid place to end too. Another really fun chapter. This one mostly just sent my head spinning by hitting me with just new character and information after new character and information. There's a lot going on for one little tiny human monkey brain to try to, process it all. A lot happening here. Very fun set of chapters, though. Again, I love the new characters. The Goryo Top Swordsman looks so cool. I can't wait to learn more about the constellations. It's one of those things where if I was reading this on my own, I would have sped to catch up, and I'd be reading the heck out of the wiki, but then maybe not, because I wouldn't want to be spoiled because of novel content. Maybe I'd be reading the heck out of the novels. I kind of doubt it, though, because I really like this adaptation. I really like this way of presenting the information to me. I love the way the webtoon is handling it. So, that's not to say that I'll never end up going and reading the novels, but I kind of want my first experience to be the webtoon, since it's what I've stuck with and since I love it so much, even though I'm pretty sure the novel's hella long. So I feel like we probably have years and years for the webtoon to catch up to or finish the novel. I think the novel's already finished. And from what I know, I think it's going to take years for the webtoon to finish it. So we'll see. I'll see what happens. But either way, I loved these chapters, and I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed this. So if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction. Again, I gotta go get this posted. It's already like midnight, 4 minutes to midnight, so gotta end this. Try to edit, render, upload it for you all. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that's appreciated. If you want to support the channel, but also get your name at the end of videos and get One Piece videos early, then hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girls, FR Nono, Abyss Knight, JA, and the D-Van, Cheriton Students, David Langstaff and Folded Goal, Slayer Candidate, SG and Stans Eater, and Pure Element, Patier Diallo. Honestly, I talked about this in the One Piece reaction. It's been so long, and it's like MGRP I really need to catch up to. And then for like Cheriton Students, it's like Beastars has already ended. It ended years ago. So should I replace like Cheriton Students? Maybe replace, like, should I change Chosen Regular into Incarnation or something? Maybe like Cheriton Student or Pure Element could be like Gnostica or Supporting Constellation, or maybe Irregular can change to Supporting Constellation, since that would be the largest one. I don't know. I don't know what to do with these. I don't know if I should change them. And then it's like, I've gotten used to them. It's like, no, it's like those are Chosen Regulars. That's Pure Elements. Like, I've gotten so attached to these names that it's like I kind of don't want to change them. I don't know. I guess I'll leave them for the time being, but it's something that I've thought about. But yeah, either way, thank you for watching. Thank you everyone who supports for supporting, but thank you all for watching too. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time.